Welcome to Ed and Ken's mini podcast. Ken, how are you? We're going to rock and roll real quick here, okay? All right, let me get into it before I lose my train of thought. So the book Inner Excellence, it's the book number one that A.J. Brown was seen reading on the sidelines a couple years ago. And it went from literally 1 millionth on the bestseller list to number one in like 3 days. So I want to, let's just like, what we're talking about is what we can control, what we can't control. Fulfillment, happiness in life and business. So what did that author have to do with his book getting to number one? Nothing. Effing nothing. He wrote the book. He took action. He executed on his passions. But no one knew about that book. And what I will tell you is now something led me to it that, and this is what I do a lot of, Ken, like we're in a business of the mortgage and real estate thing where I call it the disease of more. And a lot of times people are like, what, you can't stop growing. I'm not saying you stop growing. It's when you constantly, and I'm talking on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, or even yearly basis, get to a point that because of numbers, it affects your self-worth, your soul. That starts telling you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, they're better, they're beating you. And dude, it's just not good. I will tell you, and to each his own, but I'm literally the guy that gets like, at sometimes it was the suicide call from the guy or girl that hasn't made under 100 grand a month in 10 years. And they're like, dude, I'm ready to cash in the chips. I have such a void in me. I can't spend my money fast enough. So it's something that is really important to look at. Like we talk about Mike Cianci a lot. Mike is a incredible human being, but he's got priorities like right here. If Mike Cianci started doing 3 million a year instead of 82 million, it wouldn't affect the way he looks at himself. But if we take, just take 82 million times 2.5 or 2.75 or 3% or whatever, that's the income of one man, right, in a year. I know people that make $90,000 a year, have everything they want and need, are the most relaxed and happy. And I'm like, what was the best part of your day? And they're like, I took a nap. And I'm like, wow, nap would sound really good right now. All right. So the way we're conditioned is, we'll sleep when we're dead. Yeah, guess what? If you're saying that, you'll be dead very soon. So when we have a bad month, like first of all, if we look at this, what does a bad month mean? Right? So what would a bad month mean to you, Ken?
Under 1 million in closed loans.
Okay, under 1 million in closed loans. I don't know your all of the stuff, but I have an idea of what under 1 million, and let's just say 1 million in the mortgage world, what that means is to a loan officer as far as income goes. It's like right there, that puts you like in the top 2% of the world earnings and probably in the top 3% in the United States. In your worst month. Like sometimes we got to sit back and look at perspective, right? And not to be like, oh, it's okay, or it's not about that. My first question would be, In your heart of hearts, do you feel like you tried your best in January?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You sure about that? I'll
Um.
ask that for you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've known you long enough. There is no, well, and just that, so you tried your best. The results weren't what you wanted them to be. Um, do you have food in your refrigerator?
Yes.
Okay. Is your water running?
Yes.
Are your kids okay?
Yes.
Is your wife still putting up with you?
For the moment.
Okay. I hear she goes day to day, and it's like wake up till noon, then noon till 6, then
I
6.
I check in every day at noon. Are we still?
But right now, you're still good. So that's and now I would say to you, if I were coaching you, I would say let's look back at your patterns, because patterns really matter. And by the way, this isn't like, oh, we're going to fix what happened this January. No, man. No. Everybody is a bad month. You look at, you go through the whole Hall of Fame in baseball. Go through the whole Hall of Fame. And if every one of those people didn't have multiple slumps in their career, then I'll just go jump in my trash bin out front here, and it's filled with all kinds of gross shit, and it's cold out. So this is why a lot of my approach now, by the way, with my commitment to excellence, is about training and playing like an athlete. Here's the deal. January's over. Dude, it's February 3rd. Why are we talking about January? When Tiger Woods missed a putt, do you think he carried that putt onto the next 4 holes with him? This is what, I'm just going to give myself a little pat on the back. This is what makes me different than any other coach. I approach it like an athlete, like a football coach, like a baseball coach, not like some douchey real estate professional or mortgage professional that says, tell me what you said. Why did you say that? How did you objection handle? It's like, dude, I'm a veteran. Shut up. So, it's February 3rd. Time to rock and roll.
Yeah, it's being a human being, we are pretty smart, us two, right? We're well read. We've done a lot of work. We've learned a lot over the years. One of your zones of genius is understanding the human brain, understanding the mind, understanding behavior, and you tap into that to help people level up. But man, you can't underestimate a human being's ability to act like a human being sometimes, and
Yeah.
and I think that's the irony of the whole thing. No matter how much work you do, no matter how much you learn, you have to remember that you're still human too, right? And the identity, the stuff tying your ego, your identity, all that stuff, like it's always gonna be there in some capacity. The question is, how do you measure, monitor, and control it in a way that it's not going to impact you for the long run negatively? How do you not let it run out of control? And short memory is important. Short memory is important. Controlling the conversation. I think that what helps me in my slumps is asking, what does it mean? And how you answer that question tells a lot about where you are up here. What does it mean? What does it mean you're in a slump? Now, if I'm in my human side, if I'm really deep into my human side, it means I'm not good enough, like you said. It means I didn't train hard enough. I must not have worked hard enough in September. Maybe my vacation was a little too relaxed, and I should have taken that phone call, when I was with my kids instead of being with my kids. There's a lot of things you could say what it means, or it just means that the deck got shuffled in such a way that you got dealt a different hand, but you still you fold, you wait for the next hand, you play the next hand that's dealt, and I think that how you answer that question takes practice.
We're going to go deep here. Tony Robbins deep.
Let's go.
Inside every human being, and I will emphasize human beings, and I'll emphasize inside every man who is a husband and father, inside every one of them is a fear that we're not good enough. And if we're not good enough, we won't be loved. So that's inside every human being. Male, female, doesn't matter. However, it is biologically embedded in men. We are measured from the time we are born.
Biologically or sociologically?
Both.
Okay.
Both. It's, let's look at let's look at how fathers treat, usually, of course, there's always exceptions, but treat a daughter and treat a son. When the daughter misses a shot, it's like, honey, it's okay. You're a superstar in my eyes all the time. When the son misses the shot, it's like, hey, first of all, when we get home, we're going in the backyard. We're going to practice. We're going to do, right? But even as society, it's like, getting back to that, deep down inside, if I'm not good enough, I won't be loved. So here's another scenario. I love getting into this. Most marriages, this is fun, but I love people and I love talking about the deep stuff that's real. A married couple kids, doing the Chester County thing or the Delaware County thing, and the wife comes home and says, I can't believe it. I lost my job today. What are we going to do? 99% of the husbands are going to say, baby, I got it. Don't worry about it. Now they may go freak out, but the message to their spouse is, baby, I got you. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Take a few days off. It's them that's losing. Let's flip that over. Man comes home, says, I can't believe it. I lost my job today. I can tell you from working with a lot of men, typically the response is, well, you better figure it out. And if they don't figure it out quick enough, it's, I didn't sign up for this. That's why we're going deep, dude.
And that's not a...
This is why male suicide is 4 times that of female suicide.
And that's not a knock or an indictment of females, but it is, even if it's perceived, that's how men feel. That's how we're brought up. It's how society decide, this is what our job is. This is our role, And I've been on, listen, I'll be honest, 2008, I took a 65% pay cut in 2008. I went from making X to Y. Market took a shit, and my income dropped drastically without notice. you're, I'm blessed that that's not how my wife responded. But I responded the way you would expect. She didn't. She was supportive and I, right here, dude. I don't know if we've ever talked about it. This is what I got from her when my income dropped. This is the Footprints poem. And then I got the Don't Quit poem over there.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt it. I was like, I am a stone cold loser.
Mm-hmm.
How could I allow this to happen?
Yep.
What is wrong with me that I didn't see this coming? Why would I stay in this business knowing that I just lost all this road? I should be out in the street looking for a new job. These were the conversations that were going through my mind at the time. And thank God, right? Thank God I married, who I did. And that's, powerful. If you're a female listening, a wife, your role in your man's transition from his depths to his heights is not to be understated.
Yep.
I was lucky. I was lucky that that's what I had. But absolutely, had it been any other way, I don't know where I would have been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'd be destitute, but it certainly helped.
Lioness.
Yeah.
And again, this isn't my opinion. This is my experience from literally what I see, what I hear, and the men that I talk to. So this is, I think you said it cut out. This is not a knock against women. I'm going to say it is a knock against women. Like if you're married to a dude, like you're his biggest support.
Yeah.
If you're looking at him or treating him like he's less than, and by the way, this is vice versa. It's vice versa. It's just more prevalent, right? Then all he needs to hear is, you're my hero. I believe in you. You're my man. I believe in you. Instead, they get, what do you mean you're not going to make $50,000 this month? We have our shore mortgage to pay. We've got the boat. We're not giving up the boat. We can't give up the boat. What? The man's drowning right now. His break even is 50 grand net a month. That means he has to make 75,000 a month. And there you have at his most vulnerable moment, his partner. True stories. This is not horseshit. All they could come up with is, I'm not giving up the boat. So think about 150 years ago, right? We wake up, we go out, we do our thing in the field, we hunt, we come back, we pray, we eat. We might get lucky, we go to bed, we wake up, same thing over and over again. Sunday, everybody goes to church. Pretty simple life. Right? Now, and I see this like in the business. This was a couple years ago, was coaching a top producing loan officer. His biggest fear was he was going to go broke.
They all are.
Right? Okay, so make a long story short, after I asked a bunch of questions and I said, do you have like an IRA or a retirement fund set up? And he said, oh yeah. I said, well, how much do you have in it? He said, $4.5 million. I said, what's a great quality of life for you? Like, how much money right now? He said, 30 grand a month. I said, okay, I don't know the tax implications or what IRA, that's not my expertise, but you do realize you could take that money, put it into a Vanguard account right now that always pays between 9 and 12% and live off of 30 grand a month and never have to work again. I said, I want you to listen. You're scared to death of going broke. And you've got 4 million or whatever it was in an IRA or in a retirement fund, whatever it was. That's how insane we've become.
But that's not, I don't know that is a, just for the record, me and Ed don't always agree. So
yeah.
We were talking about that the other day, but no, that's hard coded. That's loss aversion is in our prehistoric DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was listening to someone today and said, as cavemen, we were more likely to mistake a rock for a bear than a bear for a rock. Mm-hmm. Our brains are not instinctively hardwired to chase pleasure. Our brains are instinctively hardwired to avoid pain, danger. Let's call it danger. Mm-hmm. And what I thought was really cool about this particular thing that I was listening to was that they said, how do you tap into your instinct? How do you tap into your natural motivator versus your, higher level motivation, right? So they said, paint 2 pictures, create 2 vision boards. You can tell me if you think this is horseshit or not. Create 2 vision boards. This vision board is what your life is like if everything goes the way you want it to go. This is what, if you do the things you say you're going to do, if you take the courses, learn the content, execute at a high level, this is what your life would look like. And this is what your life would look like if you don't, if you choose to take inaction, if you choose. And he said, both are required for your brain to operate towards your highest self.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that that's true?
No, I think that's. It's not that it's not true. I think it's a cool exercise.
Yeah, true. Maybe not the right word, but
because what motivates us more than anything, it's not pleasure. It's running away from pain.
Agreed.
So, but that can't be used like on a ongoing basis, because what happens is we get addicted to cortisol. It happened to me.
Addicted to cortisol. All right.
Yeah, that I want to be back against the wall, in the corner, resilient, come back, the comeback kid.
Fucking right. That I've been there.
Yeah. So that well runs dry after so many comebacks. It becomes exhausting. So this is what I know, and I will tell you that. Did you see the Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi interview?
No.
I'm going to send it to you because Alex Hormozi. I forget what his new thing is.
Was this an interview or was it a panel?
It was an interview.
Okay.
So Alex Hormozi was interviewing Tony Robbins.
Oh, Alex. I'm going to put this in the email that we send out to everybody.
Yeah, but then Tony Robbins starts coaching Alex Hormozi because Alex Hormozi says something like, "Give me 1 second, because I don't want to, I don't want to mess it up here." But this will explain everything that I'm talking about. Alex Hormozi. Oh, I forget what he says, but he says something like, "Failure's not an option." Or, no, it said something about, F happiness. Or something like that. And Tony Robbins was like, why do you say that? He's like, well, I have to be, in the grind. But Tony Robbins was like, dude, you're going down like a bad road, man. He's like, listen, brother, you're hugely successful, 37 years old. That's not good. Like, that's not good. So, see the master do it. But I will tell you, a lot of these people that I find that end up at a point where they're just like, oh my God, I've got this. My net worth is this. I'm making this. I'm recognized as this. And I'm just 100% of the time when they come to me, I take them through a scale of 1 to 10 in a bunch of categories. 100% of them, when I ask them, scale 1 to 10 on your contribution to the world, giving away your time, money, or talent. The highest score I've ever been given is a 3. Most of it's 0 or 1. So in, a lot of our peers, we suffer because we didn't make 100 grand this month or 50 grand this month, or we didn't have 35 loans. It's like, okay, so how many people did you feed, not including your family? What difference did you make in the world? Like, because that's in our heart, in us, that's all that matters. Like, that's really all that matters. And by the way, that's like when you carry that around with you, that becomes your brand. Nobody cares if you closed 30 million in loans in a month. Nobody cares if you sold 70 houses in a month. That's where we go wrong, man. Like, I guarantee you, I always say this, that when the good Lord decides to take me off the face of the earth, you better come to my funeral. You're not going to tell my kids, like, oh my God, your dad, let me tell you about your dad. Your dad had the most incredible listing commission objection handler that I've ever heard in my life. Like, the way he put together a business plan was, no. What are you going to say? And this is like what will happen. And because I tell people, you better do this. Like, tell them around the time, the day, the experience, and the impact I had on you. That's it. Like, that's it. When I talk about you, Ken, I'm like, you tell me one person that has a bad thing to say about Ken Jordan. Right?
They're
Yeah,
trust me.
I'm other than the mayonnaise shit. Like, we'll talk about.
They're out there.
That needs deep therapy, dude. I don't even want to say that out loud anymore. But it's. But watch the Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi interview.
Remind
I'll send it to you.
everybody.
In fact, I'm going to text it to you right now.
Okay. Remind everybody. You talk about the 5. I don't think it's 5, but
there's one thing
contribution is.
Hold on, I'm sending this to you right now. Hold on.
Okay.
This is really good, dude.
Sounds good.
Robbins. And so I figured
Hold
I'd
on.
either make this a headline-driven algorithm podcast or just spend an hour and a half asking the questions that mattered most to me.
All right, sent to you.
You edit out the pause.
All right, go ahead.
Contribution is one of your pillars, right?
It's one of the 6 human needs.
6 human needs. That's what it was.
Yep.
All right. So refresh. What are the 6 human needs?
Certainty,
Right.
uncertainty,
Yep.
significance, love and connection, and the 2, I forget if they're called primal or soulful needs, growth, contribution.
What's interesting about how you said you get a 3 from a lot of people. And I think that you get 3s from people who are achieving at a high level. And I think you get 3s from people who are not achieving at a high level. And what I find amazing is that They both need to increase their level of contribution for different reasons.
Yep. Yep. So I love it. And here's the thing where I tell my kids this. I don't mind if you go to the parade or the protest. I do mind if you go to the parade or the protest and you don't take impactful action to actually help someone. So if you think someone is oppressed, question to my son Johnny, did you give away free guitar lessons? No, then go do that. Contribution is not going to a protest holding a sign, right? It's how do you contribute to them? Help a family, pay off college tuition, help fill their refrigerator with food, give them a tutor, pay for a tutor, right? That's what makes it, man. That's the contribution. Pay for a single mom who is coming out of a horrible relationship. Send her to a Tony Robbins event. Pay for everything. Food, so they don't have to worry about anything. That's impact, man. Yeah, giving a homeless person, I'm on a rant now. Giving a homeless person $1 is cool. But give them $5, and as long as they're with it, ask them their story. Those people need to talk to you. You know the looks that they get? They are human beings, man. And some of the people that you and I hang around with, the big shots with the egos, well, they put themselves in that position. They'll just spend it on drugs. So, you don't think they're going to get the drugs anyway? Like, talk about love. Like, that's what real men do. That's what real people do. They don't walk by and, like, shamefully hand somebody $1 like, oh, here. It's, hey, man, I'm going to give you money, but what's your name? Scotty? Scotty, where are you from, brother? And they might be lying, but you know what? Every time I've talked to a homeless person and I put my hand on their shoulder and say, hey, can I pray for you? Whew. And when you can look them in the eye and say, hey, I just want to let you know I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, you're not a bad person, man. And I'm just going to pray that, whatever money I can give them, I give them. I used to do that when I would go to Austin. Lots of homeless people in Austin.
And the warmer climates.
That was an incredible experience, man. And I'll tell you, I know I'm preaching, but that's what we need right now, man. We need real contribution, real human connection. If somebody's mad or doesn't agree with you politically, man, instead of saying, oh, my guy's better, your girl's this, and whatever, say, hey, man, I really care about you. Tell me why you feel so strongly about that. Did something happen to you? Like, imagine being able to do that. Then you understand.
Someone being willing to answer you honestly.
Yeah. It's like, and there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, the reason why I voted for him or her is because this happened in my life. And I feel strongly about this or that. Overnight, everything changes. Like, when we understand where somebody's coming from, then it's like, oh, or if we understand, where people are on the Enneagram, like, that's how simple this stuff is. Like, when you know somebody is a whatever on the Enneagram, you can pretty much predict who they're going to vote for and why. And when you understand the why, it's like, oh, I get it. And I've had the most beautiful conversations in the last 2 months because of it. When you understand why, the human need, man, it's like, I get it. I understand you now.
It's not easy to put your. It's not easy to. It's not easy to put yourself in a place where you can understand. Or I should say, maybe it is easy. People are not willing to do it. And not enough people are willing to put themselves in that place to truly understand where they're coming from. Because everything is viewed through their own lens. And then they take this other person's experiences, put it through their lens, and then judge right or wrong right on the spot.
Yep.
Right? Not enough people are open-minded enough. So be open-minded, right? Like we talk this, you and I, we have these conversations, and I enjoy the hell out of them, and however many people listen to them, get something out of them, hopefully. But we always try and remember that we're here we're about action, right? So if you've gotten to this point, 36 minutes. If you haven't noticed, we're not done yet. We're going a little longer on our conversations, but yeah, man, stay open-minded. Learn the Enneagram. That's like the best advice I could give anyone, whether you're in leadership, you're in sales, you're a parent, or you're even a child. Adult children should learn the Enneagram.
Yeah.
One of the most powerful things about the Enneagram for me wasn't learning about myself. I started to recognize where my spouse was coming from, where my son was coming from, where my parents were coming from, because we're not all the same.
Yeah.
We're all different parts of the Enneagram. And all of a sudden you start to realize, wow, it's just, dog's going to bark and a cat's going to meow, and it's not their fault. It's what's in their nature, right? Man, it's a freeing experience because it puts grace at your fingertips. It puts forgiveness at your fingertips when you begin to understand the Enneagram. It's the most powerful thing I've ever learned.
Mm-hmm.
What was the book? The Road Back to You? Is that what it was called?
The one I'm reading?
No, the one about that. There's an Enneagram story. I believe it's called The Road Back to You.
Yeah,
Or is it Untethered Soul?
No, The Road
it?
Back to You is about the Enneagram.
Yeah, Road Back to You. So that's it. A great recommendation. I'll put that in the email as well. The Road Back to You. Yeah, the Enneagram is. It can be super powerful, man.
Yeah, because until somebody understands who they are, they're really going to struggle. They're really going to struggle. The scoreboard might say something, but inside they're dying, man. They're dying inside. And I told the story last week that one of the best or proudest moments of my life and the saddest moments of my life was when I was at family reunion on a panel for being one of the best in my position, one of the top 5 out of 700 real estate offices in the United States. And they had, the hot shots on. I'm always, for some reason, always the last to get interviewed or questioned or whatever. And they went through their diatribe. Well, I show up at 7 and I don't leave until I get 9 appointments, and because that's what the guru in 1972 told me. And when it came to me, I felt so fraudulent because number one, like year to date, I had made like 40 grand. I'm like, what am I doing? And all that could come out of my mouth was, and they were like, Ed, you've only been with this company for 9 months and you're in the top 5 of the company. And what's the secret to your success? And what I wanted to do was just go, this is all bullshit. Your quality of life sucks. Like, we all have a gun to our head. This is not the way that you get people to perform. But what I just simply said is, I'm the perfect example of ignorance on fire will beat knowledge on ice any day of the week. And Diana Kokoska, the president of MAPS Coaching, went, There's probably, I don't know, 10,000 people in the audience. She went, "Is that all you got?" And I'm like, "That's it." She was like, "Okay, well, I think it's time for a lunch break." Um, but I was operating so disingenuous. And this is why we'll lead into.
And so you're saying that during your ascent to top 5, in that time frame, you were not operating in congruence with your values.
Nope.
What were you doing?
Yeah.
And that you looking back, what were the things that you were doing that were not in alignment with your values?
Yeah. Hey Ken, I saw that you settled with Brian Brainerd today. Did you get 100% of your commission? No? Why not? What would your wife have to say about that, Ken? When are you going to move to ABC Company? It worked.
But saying it worked is a relative term. The results, in a way, were what you were looking for, but somehow or another, the outcome was a lack of integrity within you.
Yeah, and I was doing it like out of fear. And part of me didn't know better. And one of the best coaches in the world that I ever had, Mike Zullo, this is why people need coaches. They look at the scoreboard and go, what are you talking about? I'm undefeated. And it's like, yeah, but your carotid artery is going to burst in the next 30 seconds if you don't start breathing. Which is like we have to look at a bunch of scoreboards, man, to see if we're winning. And he just said, "Hey, shut up, stop," because I was like, "Dude, I can't keep doing this. It's a ridiculous game I'm playing here." And he said, "Stop complaining. What would you do if money weren't an issue? If you had $100,000 deposited in your bank account, what would you do?" And I said, "That's easy. I would coach people for free, and I would go speak at schools about addiction." And he said, "Then go do that in your recruiting business." And that's where the simple model came up. I started giving away 100 free coaching sessions. To this day, I don't do recruiting appointments. People are smart enough to understand what the split is or what the cap is. But this is why human beings need to know need to know that they really do need a mentor, a coach, a co-pilot, someone other than somebody that is in their company that gets paid to do what they do. Someone who clearly has their fiduciary in their best interest, along with the fiduciary of their health, their relationship at home, them as a parent, them as far as health goes. And like I said, I'm not working on something now. I've discovered something right now that I will know in the next, 90 days how effective it is, that I've never heard any coach, any trainer, any CEO, any broker bring into the organization to help people really grow. So I'm excited to land that very soon.
I'm excited to hear what it is.
Yeah.
When the time is right.
Yep. Yeah.
We talked about, before we even got on, graduating people. And, one of my frustrations is, I've been to doctors, nutritionists, supplementarian, if that's even a word, the guy, the organic drug dealer. I've had trainers, physical trainers, coaches. Not enough of these providers have any intention of graduating you. And that's frustrating to me. And I guess it's bad business, right? I guess it's bad business, but I want to work with someone that's going to teach me, enable me, empower me, and graduate me. Mm-hmm. If you're working with a coach or a manager that's not looking to graduate you, you have no idea what are they withholding? What are they holding back? Because they're holding something back from you.
Yeah.
They're holding something back, or they would give it to you because it would graduate you, and they don't want to do that because then the revenue stream disappears potentially.
Yep. So
how do you identify whether or not your coach or your manager has any intention of graduating you?
This is how. And I'll just talk about the traditional coaching world in the real estate and I'm guessing the mortgage business. You sign up with the big box company, right? And you have a 1-year contract. And by the way, some of the big ones, you try to get out of that contract. Have fun with that. They're going to ping your freaking credit card every single month. Never, ever, 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 ever sign a 1-year contract with a coaching company. Should be at the most 90 days. And this is why. Because on Monday mornings, their calls aren't, hey, did you help Ken Jordan? Hey, did you help Ed Fordyce resolve that issue? Did you help Janelle Logan with what she was? It's, what was your net and what was your gross last month? Oh, wait a minute. You had 4 agents drop out of your coaching job. Why? What did you? It's all about the net gain for how many coaching clients you have or you lost or you gained. So I'm not a big fan at all of the big box coaching companies. And I'm talking all of them. Tom Ferry, Maps, right? If it works for you, God bless you. Go do it. But still, don't ever sign a 1-year contract. That's just stupid. So that's why I believe that about 90% of agents, first of all agents need some kind of coach. But that's why I designed the 6 sessions for $1,997. And then if you'd like to meet once a month after that, we can do that for a year.
For the record, it should be that should be closer to $4,000, and I'm not just kissing your ass.
Mm-hmm.
That should be more.
I thank you, and cool. So when you sign up for it, I'm charging you $4,000.
Willingly. Whoa. I get this for free once a week.
Yeah. So, and I'll give you an example that, this is one coaching company that I would highly recommend. John Cheplack. The dude just gets results, man. He's a badass, and of course, everybody. Just like sometimes I get the messages, they call him a steroid head, they call him a gym rat, whatever. The dude's an absolute animal in business life and at home. And he charges $2,000 for a 20-minute phone call, 20-minute coaching session, $2,000. And he has a waiting list. Tony Robbins charges $120,000. Well, this is 20 years ago. He probably doesn't even do it anymore. $120,000 for 1 hour, and you have to guarantee him 3 hours. He'll probably end up giving you 4.5 or 5 hours for the same price as 3 hours, but
and $500,000 worth of value.
Right? Yeah. So when I looked at that, yes, that's why I created the fractional CEO and the fractional director of sales position for teams, companies to hire me. So instead of paying a CEO $250,000, you pay me a fraction of that and get the same results. Fractional director of sales, same thing, man. And I think most companies are going to start going that way.
Yeah, I mean, you can benefit from scale. You can benefit from scaling opportunities when you do it that way, for sure. You're not bogged down by heavy salaries and compensation. I think it's pretty damn interesting.
We got to wrap in 2 minutes. What else do we got to hit on here?
We got to wrap. Yeah. So I just as a review, I'm going to post the interview with Alex Hormozi and Tony Robbins. I'm going to post the book, The Road Back to You, the Enneagram Story. I think that, my big takeaway from today is contribution. And as we started the conversation talking about, where I am mentally as a male, as a human, when I don't succeed or I have a bad month or I'm in a slump, where this conversation took me to is contribution, meaning that somewhere in the next 24 hours, I need to figure out how to give something valuable away. And maybe not just once, but that's going to be my solution. That's going to be the action that I take. Because at the end of the day, I can control what I give away. I can't always control what comes back, but I control what I give out. So put me back in control, Ed. Thank you.
That's it. And I will tell you that when we make a decision, and it is not easy for men and women, but because I'm a man, I can tell you, the day that I decided to not connect my self-worth with my net worth, everything changes. Whether I have $1 billion in the bank or I'm $1 billion in debt, I'm still me. That has nothing to do with who I am. But because we have built our identity on followers, income, net worth, doors.
It's a hard tether to cut, man. It is a hard tether to cut, but it's one of those defining moments in your life when you're able to figure that one out. So,
Yeah.
all right, Ed, this was awesome. 51 minutes of pure gold. I can't wait to see you next time. We'll catch up soon.
See you, brother. Good work.